Welcome everyone to the Beatties, and it's just another day at the office for us. In fact, we're working on a customer order today. We call the fly the H&L Wulff, and basically what it is you take the body and hackle of a Royal Wulff and the wing and the tail of an H&L variant, and well, that's what you're going to have. And I'm Al Beatty from Boise, Idaho. My lovely wife is, you can peek in here and say hi, can't you?
Hi.
Yeah. She says hi to everybody.
Get my hackle ready.
Yeah, she's getting her part ready because I tie half the fly. She ties the other half. So let's get to taking a look. You can see right there, I'll be working with calf tail and thread. That's all she'll let me have in any one time. And we'll be working here. And I've already checked your vise, Gretchen. So you're
good to go.
Yeah, you'll be good to go. So I'll get started here. And I'll explain what I'm doing, and then when I pass it off to you, you can pick it up from there.
Okay, I'll just sit here and size some hackle while you're getting started.
You can, why don't you talk about that while I get my
Yeah, well, I don't know what to say about it, except I did find some of the long hackle, which is what I prefer to use.
Good, you got some good long hackle then.
And then I'm just gonna take a look here and make sure.
Well, I'll grab my white thread and start my thread base about a third back on the hook eye third back from the hook eye on the shank. Wrap to the end of the shank and back to the center of what we'll call the body area. And I'll grab a bundle of calf tail hair and clean it out over the waste bin and on my way back to the vise. That's what I often do. And there we go.
Oh boy, there's one that's just a size 10 on one side and a size 14 on the other.
That's kind of a misshaped hackle, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I can work it in though if I work it in with something else.
Okay, well, I'm stacking the hair for the tail. And I'll just take it out of my stacker, pointing in the direction that I want it to go on the hook. And I'll make sure I don't have any broken hair tips. And that's all looking pretty good. Got a wild one there. Measure it for the length of the hook shank. Set it in place. And wrap it onto the hook shank. Trim away the waste. Advance the thread back to the 1/3 point. And at this stage of the game, I'll let you all just understand I'm getting another bundle of hair. And I think you've seen me do it once. You don't need to see me doing it again. I'm just back over here. Trimming a bundle out of the tail.
I just found a really nice peacock.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, look at that. That's really nice.
Wow, that is nice. Whew. Well, I gotta get some hair cleaned out of this. One of the things about tying right now, this is June. It's a little easier to tie right now than it is in the winter time. It's a little more humid now than it is in the winter, and we don't have quite as much static electricity to deal with.
Well, we're having a pretty wet
that's
June so far.
Pretty wet spring, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, it's been glorious.
A couple of wild hairs in that tail that I want to get rid of. There we go. That looks better. And we'll tilt my wing materials in the other direction. Pulling any wild ones out that don't want to get with the program. And measure it for length. And I want the tail to be equal to the length of the hook shank. And I'll tie that in place. And I'll wrap until I'm just about back to meet the waist from the tail. I'll trim at a severe angle. See, I'm holding the waist at a 45-degree angle and making a trim flat along the shank. That makes a very severe cut so that I get a good blend between the little bit larger lump of hackle or hair that goes into the wings than in the tail. And I'll get that to stand up a little bit there. One of the things you can run into trouble with your hair wings, and I want you to notice that I am coming out in between the wing and the tail, and I'm going to bring a loop of thread around my hair application and come back to the center of the hook. What that does is forces the hair to stay up on top of the hook. And now when I go to divide my wings, they're not going to end up partly down on the side or something like that. And I'll just divide the wings now. And it'll take a second. All right, that looks pretty good. I'll get the offside wing first. Near side wing. Yeah, I got a wild hair here and there, and I'll get rid of them. And hit my whip finish tool. All right, and that looks pretty decent. Got a couple of more fibers in the near side wing than on the far side wing, so I'll just trim them off, and Gretchen will end up evening them up after she does her bit. So I'll just take this out and hand it over to Gretchen and put another hook in the vise, and she'll pick up the dialogue now as she does the body.
Okay, I'm going to start out. Let's see. I got to make sure I got my vise tight enough. It looks like it's need to tighten my jaws a little bit here. There. So I'm going to start off with the red material that I'm going to use for body material, which happens to be stretchy nylon. We'll see if I like the way that looks. I should. There we go. So I'll get this on my hook. And the first thing we want to do is select a nice chunk of, if I can, I might need a couple, but we'll see. Cut off two just in case. Now I'm going to tie it in by the butt. And just wrap it. And I like to wrap the back so that the shiny side is to the back and it kind of curves and cups forward. Then I just take my red body material, tie that off, go forward. I'm going to wrap the front. I want the front to go the other way. Sometimes I kind of have to fight with it a little bit. Yeah. There we
Kind
go.
of hand stacking mine just a little bit, getting ready to put it in the stacker. I've got kind of a wild bundle of hair here. Sorry, dear, you can go ahead and
Well, that's okay.
continue.
When one peacock was enough, I still need to tighten my jaws just a little bit. Must have been tying a monster last time. Okay, there we go. I got the body on this one done, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use two feathers. One is fairly dark. has some fairly dark brown, and the other one is fairly light. Now I need, oops, I forgot something I need to do. First, I need to get rid of this red thread. So I'm
Are
gonna
you using red thread or are you using red stretchy nylon?
stretching on one. It's
Yeah,
looks
it's just
so good.
For those of you watching in, that's Danville nylon stretch, or if you use Uni products, it's Uni stretch. And it's a very, very good, very forgiving kind of a material for doing plus bodies.
Yeah. Makes it look nice and shiny.
And smooth with coming right off of a bobbin, which is not
Yeah.
always an easy thing to accomplish.
It doesn't, yeah. I want to be sure to leave a little bare stem or rachis so that my first half a wrap to the back will be with bare stem. Pour up some of that white thread, red thread. Let's see if that's enough. Oh boy, that looks a little long. Look at that. Whew.
Is that your hackle?
Yeah,
Now let me slip over here and take a look.
I got a long one there.
It is just a little bit long. It's about a half a size big. It looks
Yeah,
like.
it is. That's one of those that's small on one side and
Yeah, well, that's sometimes those you try to save them and you end up just wasting more time than getting rid of them.
yeah, I'm gonna get a nice long hackle here. This one looks better. I'll wrap this little one first. Oh,
Go ahead.
what? Have you got me unmuted?
Yep.
Got the little one wrapped.
What's that? The one that's little on one side?
No, just a short one.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
And now I'm going to wrap my longer one that I got to replace the one that was too long. There we go. That's looking a lot better than it was.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's dead on. You got it.
Yeah. Now I'm going to just take 2 wraps over and then pull this back and dogleg my hackle back into itself. Trim it. And do a nice wet finish. Use that wet finish tool. It's a little big for what I'm doing. There we go. This one's better. All right, there we go. Now I've got some fairly runny head cement, and I'll take it. Just drop a drop right there. It's wanting to stay in the eye, so I kind of need to make sure I don't have any. There we go, glue in the eye.
And I'm just nursing some of the waste out of this one. And this is down at the base end of the calf tail, and the fibers are multi-length. I mean, when you get further up towards the tip of the tail, the fibers tend to be about the same length. But boy, I'm doing a little bit of hand stacking before I even put it inside the stacker. Kind of make that a little bit easier to work with. See how wild it is on the butt ends there? It's everything under the sun. I'll trim that off just a tiny bit before I put it in the stacker so that it goes into the stacker a little easier.
That's one down.
One down and 50 more to go.
Yeah. Oh. Stretchy nylon became unthreaded.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how that
Hey,
happened.
rather
But
than threaded, you want to just use mine?
yeah, I'll just take the time here.
Here's my nylon stretch right there.
I got it,
Oh,
huh?
you got it? Oh, okay. Okay, measure that length for length, set it in place right there on top, bind it in place. And now it's time to trim off the waist. Remember, pull the waist at 45, lay the scissors flat along the shank so I get a really severe cut. So I get a nice blend between the waist from the tail and the waist from the wing. See, that doesn't create too much of a bump.
Yeah, that last one was really nice. It was nice and smooth. I didn't have to fix anything that you did.
Well, I'll see if I can't mess a few of these up for you, just to keep you on your toes.
All right, I'm back in business.
All right, good.
Starting out again with my red stretchy nylon. And piece of peacock. I like to check it because sometimes there'll be a little place in this peacock where the stem is kind of bent. I don't know if you can see that. But you want to get rid of that because it'll break on you. And I have plenty.
It isn't like we don't have peacock. We have it coming out of our ears.
I wonder what that was coming out of your ear. Oh, I love to work with peacock. See how pretty that is? It's one of my favorite things to do is to tie the body of a Royal Wulff.
Okay, grabbing a bundle of the calf tail hair.
Just tied on my black thread.
Pull the waist out. You can see that just a big bundle of stuff that we need to get rid of right there. And then I'll kind of hand stack because I have almost two different lengths of hair there. Hand stack it just a little bit.
Biggest mistake people can make with calf tail is trying to keep that stuff that's the number 3, 4, and 5 layer in length. You got to get rid of it.
Yes. This isn't the time to go into it, but she was talking about, we've got multiple layers in any animal hair that they have different properties within the same bundle. And we use what we call layers 1 and 2 and get rid of everything else. And it's kind of, we'll have to take you through that one time, but we're turning out customer orders now, not talking about selecting animal hair. Okay, measure for length.
Getting my hackle ready. Stripping off some bare stem, tying it on. I'm tying them both on at one time. And sometimes I can wrap them both at the same time too. We'll see if these two will cooperate. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can.
I've been using the hair off of this side of the tail. It's kind of the underside of the tail. You got the top side and the underside. And the stuff on the underside right down on the base end of the tail is really tough to work with, but you can manage to salvage hair out of it. But right now I'm getting into the better hair, which is going to kind of speed the process up for me a little bit. Yeah, that's a lot nicer. We'll take a look here at the vise. And you can see that it's still multi-length, but we got a lot longer hair to work with, and it's going to be a little easier to work with. And we'll hand stack it just a little bit before it goes into the stacker. And I'll stack it in hair. Make sure I don't have any long ones in there, and I do have a couple I wanted to get rid of. Measure it for length, which is equal to the length of the hook shank. Tie it on top. Bind it in place. 45-degree angle. Scissors flat along the shank. Severe cut. Blend them all together. And pull the bundle up. Wrap a thread dam in front. Go back a short distance. Loop around the hair bundle so it stays on top. And we'll divide the wings. And that looks pretty good. Wrap the wing post on the offside. And pull the near side wing up. Got a couple of wild hairs that don't want to get with the program. I guess I'll have to just get rid of them. All right, thread down in front. Whip finish. Start to thread about a third back from the hook eye. Wrap to the end of the shank. Back about halfway into the middle of the body area. That's the part of the hook that we'll allocate for the tail. And I'll just reach over and grab some hair. I don't need to continually go over there and show you what I'm doing. You know what grabbing hair is like. Okay. Going into the hair stacker. And a few taps. Well, there's a wild one that needs to be gotten rid of right off the bat. Okay, there we go.
Nicking my fingernail, I caught the thread and that didn't work. That's what gardening does.
You need some of this thread magic?
No, I just need to smooth out that nick on my.
No, okay, well, I'm after another
I
bundle
don't
of.
think thread magic would help a nick in the nail.
What's that, dear?
I don't think thread magic would help a nick in the nail.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah, I got it.
Do a little bit of hand stacking. And I'll just trim that off even right there, but I'll do it over the waist pin, not in front of the camera. I don't want that white hair all over the camera lens.
I think we've got our division of labor just about right.
In other words, you want me to keep dividing the wings, huh?
Yep.
Okay, sounds good to
Seems to
me.
be, when we started today, we weren't sure how we were gonna divide this up, but it seems to be working pretty good.
45-degree angle, severe cut. Okay, we blend it together. Thread down in front of the wing post. Go behind the wing a couple of turns, loop around the post itself, anchor it in place, come up behind the wing, and get ready to divide the wings. Divide the wing bundle into 2 wings. One of the things I think you can really improve the look of your calf tail wing flies, let's just say, by using white thread and then switching to whatever color you're going to finish with. And it makes those calf tail wings look like they just divided themselves because the white thread just blends right in. Mm.
Get rid of the
Well, we're
red
about halfway
thread.
through this first dozen, Gretch.
Yep, going good.
Yep.
Doesn't
I
take
think
long to get back in the rhythm, does it?
no. All right. I think we'll probably just do this half dozen. We don't want to totally bore all of you to death by just continually doing the same thing over and over and over. If you want to see it over and over and over, you can keep rewinding the video. And I'm hand stacking, I'm off camera, but it's a little easier to do it off camera than it is in front of the camera. So that's why I'm away from the vise right at the moment. Putting the hair into the stacker now.
It's a little long, I'm afraid. Maybe further down. Sometimes if you go further down the feather, yeah, if I just start it right there, I think it'll be fine.
Find a tough place to start on the feather.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Christmas tree on the butt end. So
Sometimes they are towards the butt end like that, and then you can get them. That tail's too short. I'll have to retie it. And what I'll do is I'll come back almost to the takeoff point and see if I can pull it through. Nope. There, maybe I can pull it through. That's better.
notice how I take a real, pull my hackle way back when I go to the front and then come back around, and that helps to cover up that little spot on the outside you sometimes get where there's no hackle.
You're talking about the space underneath the wing on the offside?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too often we see flies that really, really look good, and then there's a space under the wing, and all you got to do is just do that what Gretchen's doing, which is kind of a back and forth sort of a hackle application.
I want you to take a look at this. Look
Right.
when I get this done.
Oh, I want you to notice that I wrap back there, and instead of leaving the thread hang where I'm going to make my cut, just in case I screw up and cut too close, I always wrap back, forward just a bit so that I'll protect the bundle of hair just in case I happen to nick some of the thread.
I don't know if this one's going to be a reject. But look at that eye. It doesn't come back tight. Is that okay? You see what I mean?
Yep, I do, and it's fine.
Okay. I tried to kind of close it a bit with my head. I think
And I'll pull the thread there, and divide the bundle into 2 wings. Cross between, catch the offside wing first, and post the wing. Get the near side wing, pull it up.
you're on number 6, aren't you?
Number 6, yeah, we're gonna do a closing on the live feed and recording and everything. We don't need to keep going. They said if they want to see what it's like, we just keep doing the same thing over and over and over for hours on end. So it would really, really get boring for all of you. Anyway, enough of that. And there we are. And that will be the end of today's BTs at Work. Kind of gives you an idea what it's like to be a commercial fly tyer. It's the same thing over and over and over. But you know what? Most jobs are the same thing over and over and over. Think data entry. Even somebody working in an emergency room as a doctor or a nurse or whatever, I'm sure that they see just the same thing over and over and over and over. So enough of the over and over and over today, folks. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Bye.